Well, hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and tonight we have Meghan's troubles with her new podcast, Harry trying to silence a past fling so he doesn't get into more trouble, and Uncle Gary's thoughts about the Montecito duo. But first, this is a reminder that I have a satire vlog about the sausages, and my latest breaking news is this: Meghan Markle spotted wearing Catherine, Princess of Wales' mask to see if people finally pay attention to her. So go to the link in the description of this video and read all about it. So when Meghan said that she was moving her podcast from Spotify to Lemonada, we thought that she meant that she was going to create more content. It's not that we wanted it, but it's what we expected. But upon closer inspection on Lemonada's page, you can see our swipes, okay, but with the exact same episodes that she already published on Spotify. I think a good old meme can convey the amusing situation. This was basically tearing the Spotify Band-Aid and adding a Lemonada sticker and calling it a day. Because I doubt that she is going to publish any new episodes this year. Remember how long it took to get one season ready? And who's going to be willing to sit in front of Meghan to listen to her talking about herself? What I think is that Meghan will use that appearance as panelist at South by Southwest to recruit guests for her Flopcast. It has already generated some backlash, but I'm sure she will arise triumphant with fresh ideas for her professional victim grift. Especially if she's going to hang out with stars like Katie Couric, who, well, as soon as you search for her online, you see that her information portal is, should I say, trendy with the times? Could I say that? And I have to say, I'm afraid of Meghan walking into those waters, lest she Markles herself. My guess is that Brooke Shields is going to be one of her guests if the Duchess ever decides to make another episode. And Brooke will not be that controversial, or at least I hope so. Now, I think about this. Meghan is going to be part of a panel focused on women's representation in TV and movies. My prediction is that this is on purpose from WME's side, so she can have something to talk about in that crossroad between women empowerment and film production. And it's worth noting that I'm pro make more movies with female leads. Bring it on. The issue, and I really don't know why this happens, is that studios keep picking the worst possible screenplays, such as Madame Web. It's not because it was a prominently female cast, because Morbius, with a predominantly male cast, did equally as poor. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Devil Wears Prada. I could rewatch this movie dozens of times, so quality has never been about the gender of the cast. But now, you know that I have never joked about the Meghan professional victim narrative, because that's something that makes actual money, playing the victim over and over again, and talking about empowerment and all that stuff. But at the same time, that's the narrative that some studios have pushed, that they are the victims of fans who are racist or misogynist, and that's why they don't go watch their bad movies. It's the same approach of Meghan since, I don't know, 2017, claiming that she hasn't been able to sleep or eat or do anything because of the trolls online. But then, I don't understand. How does Catherine function if she received, let's say, the same amount of online and offline harassment? Does she have a special formula that she didn't share with Meghan? How could she? But well, there comes Harry, who's in trouble yet again because an exotic dancer wants to set the record straight with pictures about a crazy night when Harry kissed her, and she's threatening to leak compromising pictures of Harry in revenge for being whitewashed from his memoir. And I just want to ask a question here. Can we organize, I don't know, a GoFundMe so she never releases those pictures? Or better yet, destroys them. what would be the price of that? I'm sure that a decent amount of decent people would be willing to cooperate towards such a heroic goal for the sake of humanity's aggregate mental health. But even so, I want to say some words in behalf of the Duke of Sausages. At least he's trying to hide his past and not making up his past, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, Uncle Gary is stating something that we knew long ago, and I quote this article, admitting he hasn't met Meghan. He said, I have an opinion that Harry was really loved, and when they were a threesome, so Kate, William, and Harry, they look really comfortable together. And then suddenly there's an extra dynamic that comes in, puts a stick in the spokes, and creates so much drama that I don't genuinely think it's there, and rewrote the history, saying how unhappy he was, and I just don't think that's fair. And as Resting Dollface says, that moment when you realize all the money in the world cannot get Meghan in cast while her estranged brother and her sister-in-law's relatives are getting paid for more on-camera roles than she is. And in another episode of Royals doing wacky things, but this time on this side of the Atlantic, Duchess of York called Turkish banker accused of theft kind and supportive after a payment of more than £1.5 million. Prince Andrew's ex-wife praised Salman Turk in letter after receiving funds from the financier accused of stealing $40 million from heiress. Well, this is one of those times when I say that you need to be extra careful of who you hang out with, who you get photographed with, even who you exchange emails with, but most important, it's not critical, who you receive money from. Because this is a very simple rule of life. There is no such thing as a free lunch, especially when said lunch has more than 6 figures. And King Charles was seen leaving Clarence's house, and it was nice to see some crowds greeting him, waiting for him to make a full recovery from his cancer diagnosis. And there were also pictures of His Majesty receiving the ambassadors of Mauritania and Algeria during his private audiences at Buckingham Palace today. So he has stayed quite active, and it's great, so it helps dispel the rumors that the royal family mysteriously canceled all engagements for some unknown reason, which of course is not true. And also, the Princess Royal officially opened a permanent British military facility on an air base in the United Arab Emirates, named Donnelly Lines after Sergeant Billy Donnelly, a Royal Air Force navigator who died in February of 1943. And I'd like to share this tweet from Catherine C.J. Hall. I'm not a huge royalist these days, but I do respect people's privacy. It's funny how the Be Kind Brigade, most of whom don't give many of who hate the royal family, seem to think it's everyone's business to know what's going on with the Princess of Wales. It's no one's business, and folks should remember that just because she is a princess, she is also a woman and deserves to be left in peace. But my royal rogues, I would love to know what do you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue, and remember, much love and bliss.